Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Trifecta. Today, we're going to be taking on our biggest project yet. In between episodes, Lash has begun to step up his advertising campaign. There are purple banners on my house now, my bed's been dyed purple, there's a literal advertisement above it, and every single time I try and sleep, well, this happens.
Good morning, sweetness. Don't forget to shop at Lash.
So clearly, he's got his marketing campaign figured out. The good news is he did pay us for the Enigma engine, so we have a little bit more spending money now. But we cannot let him get all the business. We need to strike back with a shop of our own. This spot right here is where our shop will be. This is right next to spawn, right across from his shop. And inside this cave is going to be a myriad of little shops all selling individual products. And I've done my research. Three's clay farm is pretty unique, but he needs a dirt input for it, which he doesn't have.
We are going to have to feed it dirt. I only have so much here from terraforming.
So what am I going to sell? Well, dirt. Lash has often complained about not having enough moss. So what am I going to sell? Well, moss. The goal is to have just a network of little shops, each with one product that they all desperately will want. I hope. If they ever realize how easy it is to make these farms on their own, I'm kind of out of a job. But I've just spent all day gathering the items for these cannons. There is a lot of stuff here. So I think that we should get this started, right after I go spend some diamonds in Lash's shop. I know this is kind of going against our market plan, but hey, the guy's got good deals.
Welcome, customer. Do not steal from darkness.
He's added a new section for armor and tools, and a deal of the day. These deals are honestly insane. I have no clue how he plans on selling straw bales for 1 diamond each, but I am taking them. And a stack of golden carrots for 1 diamond is seriously undercutting the McFold empire. 3 might have to update his prices. The tools, on the other hand, I'm not sure about. I mean, they're all great, but you might want to sell this stuff before we all have full mending netherite armor. At this point, not really needed anymore. It's not like I'd ever die. All of this stuff here for 12 diamonds is a really good deal, but hopefully we'll get them back as soon as our new shop opens.
Dear customer, please do not come back.
I will. Anyways, let's get these cannons going, and I'll walk you through what they're making afterwards. Now, by this point, you guys should know that I love these schematic cannons, but in this build here, they've kind of let me down. Also made it invisible, apparently. There it goes. Anyways, most of the things did place down correctly, but a lot of it I had to fix by hand. Every single fence post, every rope, all broken. All of the glowberries were completely wrong, but we got it fixed, and now, well, our shops should be ready to go. We can take our safe rope down. Perfect timing for 3 to join. The poor guy does not know when morning is. Anyways, let's take a look at our shops. The first one right here is Mr. Moss, and it sells... Alright, you can figure that one out. It's not running yet, but in this barrel here, moss should appear once we hook everything up, and the price, well, I'm open to changing it, but it seems fair for now. Lash will definitely pay this, and he's kind of my target audience. Following this little path, which is now basked in beautiful light, we get to this little platform, which is nothing yet, but here is where I want to be selling bulk stone, andesite, gravel, all of that. I don't have an easy way to transport that stuff here yet, so this is unfinished. But if we take this ladder up, we'll arrive at our next 2 shops. The first one is Dirty Dan, and as the surrounding decorations probably clue you in, it's a dirt farm. I'll explain how that works later, but all you need to know is that some of the dirt will get sent here to be sold, while the rest will get sent to this other shop, Muddy Mike. Very similar branding there. which will take the dirt and mix it with water to make mud. With the premise out of the way, let's all hook them up and see how they work. So, welcome to my creative world. We're going to start with our dirt farm, which is the easiest to understand. The principle behind it is very simple. Coarse dirt can be hoed into regular dirt, and regular dirt plus gravel makes 4 coarse dirt. This is just a vanilla loop, very simple. The contraption for it is this. Up here, it's just a basic cobblestone generator, which is getting crushed down into gravel. It's about as simple as could be. Down here, it's a little more complicated to see, but I'll try my best. In this section here are 4 mechanical crafters and 2 robot arms. This one here just takes the gravel from the depot and puts it in the mechanical crafter. This other one takes the dirt that is output from the contraption and places some in the mechanical crafter and the rest in this output barrel. The mechanical crafters make 4 coarse dirt, which goes into this depot right here, where it gets sent into this contraption. This contraption only runs on a redstone signal from this threshold switch. So only when this barrel is more than 90% full will it run. I know that's not a great explanation, but the mechanics behind it are so simple, and it works actually surprisingly well. The contraption itself relies on 3 main items. The deployers, which are filtered to put down coarse dirt, the plows, which automatically till dirt and turn coarse dirt into regular dirt, and the mechanical drills, which are 1 block behind and will therefore only mine regular dirt. I know that that's not the best explanation ever, but it's really very straightforward. These guys place down coarse dirt, these turn it into regular dirt, these mine regular dirt. The regular dirt is combined in this mechanical crafter with gravel to make more coarse dirt, and that just loops forever, netting us a very healthy dirt profit. The next farm is our moss farm, and this one is a little bit more. There are a ton of moss farms on YouTube. When I first set out to make this, I thought it would be super simple. But every design on YouTube was really complicated, and I just didn't like how they worked. So I made my own using Create. Let's try and break it down. The center of it is this clock right here. This is a vanilla hopper clock, nothing fancy. When the redstone block moves over here, this redstone link will receive power, which is activating all 6 of these mechanical pistons. The mechanical pistons are just pushing forward stone that gets created. Inside this box is lava and below it, water. So far, pretty straightforward. Stone gets made and then pushed forward until the end here. But once this happens, this observer will trigger and send out a signal, causing 2 things to happen. The first is that it triggers the dispenser to bone meal the stone. And the second is that it triggers the sequenced gear shift to rotate this mechanical bearing 180 degrees. This will take this sandstone and place it where the moss is, breaking all of it instantly. Because that counts as a block update, this observer will trigger again, sending it another 180 degrees back and back to its starting position, out of the way. The only final thing to note is that this piston in the middle here is used just to clear anything that might be on top of this moss block. Moss can't spread if there's an item there like grass. Once the moss is broken, like so, all of the items fall into this water stream that funnel them towards these central chutes. These lead into this temporary sorting chest. Cobblestone is immediately ejected into fire, while over here there are 3 other outputs. The first is a filter that lets everything except cobble and moss through. This is where stuff like azaleas and moss carpets get sent. These get composted and sent into a depot. The depot will pick up the bone meal and send it through some chutes back into the dispenser. However, these items alone don't make enough bone meal for the whole thing to be self-sufficient, so we need the moss to help pull its weight and get composted too. To do this, this is filtered to only send out moss in multiples of 16, whereas this one, which is our bulk storage, will only send it out in multiples of 64. Because this one is a multiple of the smaller one, this will always be done first, so as long as there is a need for bone meal, this will be prioritized. Once the bone meal is fully backed up though, Any excess gets sent into our storage vault, creating us lots of beautiful moss. Now, I want to point out that these are both pretty terrible farms. They can break really easily, and I really just don't recommend doing it. But I really enjoyed the challenge of doing it myself. There were no tutorials involved here. So even if it's not the best, it's mine, and I'm happy with that. Now, back to making sick profits. Now, as far as powering these guys, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is that right now, it's just a ton of water wheels. Not exactly exciting. The good news is that I have some very big plans on how to power it in a later episode. It's gonna need a lot more infrastructure than this. But with this spinning, everything should start, and as you can hopefully tell, the farms are now working. I did make sure that all of this area is entirely within the spawn chunks, so everything should run on its own. I didn't really test that a bunch though, so I'm just kinda hoping I'm correct. Okay, I've been letting this run for about 10 hours now, and we've got 6,000 mud and over 10,000 moss between what's in the vault down there and what's in this barrel. Hopefully, Lash will be satisfied. And once the mud vault fills up, this is going to start making us dirt. Right now, not so much. But now that we have our business set up, we need to attract customers. So it's time for a serious marketing campaign. I mean, look at what we have to compete with. Lash has like giant billboards and little highwaymen robbing you on your way to spawn. Well, robbing you if you don't shop at his store, I assume. But still, he's clearly put a lot of thought into this, and we need to match that. Okay, so Lash's house has now been given a little bit of a makeover. A very mossy makeover. If this doesn't convince you to go buy moss, I don't know what will. But as far as customers, Lash was always going to be the easier one. 3 is going to be a bit trickier. Now, unlike Lash, 3 is a bit more of a demanding customer. He's a shrewd businessman, that guy. He's not going to buy something just because. I need to give him a reason why he would want to purchase my product. And for that, I'm going to be making some nice floating fences with some signs on top. Personally, I think this is a very convincing business case. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I saw this around my base, my first thought would definitely be, I should buy dirt. And most certainly not be, wow, I need to never give Cool Cat any money ever. So I think this will work pretty well. Of course, if you don't want a pillar up, you could always use an ender pearl. But with our advertising done, all that's left to do is wait for the customers and the dough to start rolling in. And speaking of customers...
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. I see you're at the shop. What are you purchasing?
Oh, well, if you look at the deal of the day, you'll see that I've done quite some damage to it. But speaking of purchasing things, it can't always be me purchasing from you. There's a new shop around where you can purchase things.
Yes, I kind of noticed. There are a few small signs next to my home.
It was really subtle advertising, subliminal even.
Yes, it was barely noticeable, especially with the 4 speaker blocks. No, actually, there is going to be a huge purchase today. So would you like to give me a grand tour?
Sure. Welcome to the shop. You've seen most of
fancy.
this, but we have
No,
3...
just one side, moss.
Well, I guess you beeline that one. But we have 3 open shops. And 2 that are... Okay, that's the fast way down. Well, we have these 2 shops over across, Muddy Mike and Dirty Dan.
I really love what you have done with the mud.
With the mud around it. Figured I'd make it easy to see which shop was which.
Are you making them here?
Yeah.
So there is a factory behind the vault?
Yes. I'll give you a free stack if you can get to it. There's a secret entrance. See if you can find it.
Not the painting. Not this painting. Nothing up there. You cannot pearl through mud, I guess. Okay, it's behind this painting, I'm sure. You're in it. It is in the painting.
It is in the painting.
So why doesn't it work for me?
Well, you have to
Oh,
crouch.
is it one of those things that... Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Oh, you left the block there. Ah. Oh. You have a very fancy setup. Oh, so you just pump in water into a basin and add dirt?
Yes. The dirt comes from all the way up there, which is where the dirt farm is.
Oh, the most beautiful place. Mr. Moth.
And you can
Yes,
see
yes.
it's making a lot. We're up to 17,000, I think, as usual. Secret painting.
Oh, you have to... Come on.
There you go.
Yes. Out of extreme curiosity, why don't you have like 2 dispensers? Because I'm noticing that you're missing a lot of stone.
Originally, this was a smaller design, but I changed it to be the 7x7 because that's the biggest area that a single bone meal use can do, so that it's generating the most moss possible, and like saplings and azaleas and so on out of one bone meal. With our shops now fully open and making tens of thousands of items, and some potential customers hopefully lined up, I think that's a pretty good spot to wrap up the episode. This project took much longer than I would have liked, but I am very happy that I was able to make all of the stuff my own. Next episode, there should be 2 more shops opening up and a lot more infrastructure being built. Hopefully get this server feeling a lot more connected. For today though, I think that's all. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay cool. Oh, and remember at the end of episode 14 when Lash said his horse was better? Well, meet my new one. Take that.